Welcome to the channel. Today we will be talking about casual sex. And some people might think that this topic is somewhat taboo, but I'm used to discussing taboo subjects because I help men quit porn and I post content about quitting pornography, improving intimacy, and relationships quite often. And this is a subject that came up in some of the meetings with the men that I've had conversations with, and it's this idea that when you watch pornography, you become so desensitized to the idea of casual sex. You think of it as something that you would want to do, or that it would be fun and exciting, potentially even healthy to spice up your relationship. The idea of threesomes, the idea of, oh, if two women walked into the room right now, I would certainly probably have sex with them. It would be very exciting. I've seen it in enough videos that I really think it'd be fun. And, these kinds of ideas that are kind of sold in pornography where it's like, oh, casual encounter with some random woman who's somewhat attractive and she's interested in having sex. It's totally good, normal, natural to let's start having sex right now. And, as someone who's worked with a lot of guys quitting porn and needing to quit myself in the past, pornography is something that has such a hole in your heart. When you do it afterwards, you feel so empty and alone because scientifically, when you orgasm, you then are filled with oxytocin, and it makes you want to cuddle a person or be connected with someone, and that's kind of what it's all designed for. But if you're watching pornography, you don't really have any kind of connection with your phone. And when you're having casual sex, afterwards, the moment's over, you're thinking a little more clearly, and all of a sudden, oh, this person I kind of really want to cuddle and be connected to and share the rest of my life with, but there's someone I don't even know their name potentially, or I don't know them in any way besides their name. And when you do that, it's just like pornography because you feel so empty and alone inside afterwards. And to me, that is it's not worth it. I'm very lucky I never fell into the casual sex realm. I certainly would have done that if women were more interested in me back when I was in high school. So, but I want to just kind of draw that parallel. Pornography and casual sex are both things that leave you feeling very empty inside, and they don't really fill that hole that you're trying to fill. And so it's truly unfortunate. But like I was saying, many people who watch pornography are very, very susceptible to the idea of, getting involved in casual sex encounter. Here's an example. I had been watching porn for a long time growing up, but I decided to quit, and I was, probably 9 months free, and I was building this program that I have now, and I was in Vegas, and, after even just driving through the city and seeing all this prostitute posters, billboards, people on the streets, you turn around and then they're giving you a postcard, and on it is a naked woman, and, there's women that are, there's services where you can get a limo and get in there, and there'll be two girls waiting for you to do some stuff with you. And, these kinds of fantasies that really only seem to exist in pornography, for me at least. I was so, enthralled by it. Even though, as a person who, has values and a person who tries to think of the future and tries to think of the relationship that I have, it was very tempting for me still because of all the sex that I've seen people do in such a casual way that I was like, oh, it does sound kind of exciting. This question in my mind of what would they feel like? What would it be like? Oh, I wonder how she feels. I would love to grab. These really kind of unique thoughts that I don't really love sharing. But I think it's crucial because, this is something that so many guys face. They may not even realize it, or they realize it and keep it inside. And the realization is, you are not someone you can trust if you are in a situation where a casual sex opportunity presents itself. How strong are you truly to be in a position where there's an attractive woman who's saying, hey, I could suck your dick. Let's go into this other room. It takes a lot of strength and ability to say no, and, well, I'd say discipline, and also just it takes a system in order to get to that point, in my opinion, because so many guys do not get to that point. They fall into that trap because of how much porn they've been watching. And I find it really frustrating when I go online and I see men that are motivational and inspiring to many men, such as maybe Andrew Tate or FitX Fearless or Fresh and Fit, where overall they do a really good job at motivating and inspiring for the most part. But I hear this just common thread between all three of them where it's like, yeah, women are not valuable if they've had sex with a lot of men, which I 100% agree with. But then they'll say, oh, but men, they can have sex with as many women as they want, and it's totally fine. And, that's just more normal, and, oh, you could be in a relationship, but you could have casual sex with someone else, and it wouldn't matter because, that doesn't matter. But if your woman were to cheat on you, that is not good. And I'm just kind of, looking at this situation I think that doesn't sound good. In the back of my mind, it sounds kind of good because of how much of a porn addict I was and still am. But I've been able to go 2 years free because of the accountability circle I've built. But I still fall victim to these kind of wishes and hopes at times. And I find it frustrating when people online may be trying to figure out how to attract a real high quality woman and, be in a great relationship, one that they feel safe, trusted, loved, respected, etc. But then you're hearing advice online where you're hearing people say, oh, go out and bang some women, go on Tinder and, oh yeah, this week I banged 3 of them. And it's just kind of you're setting people up to A, go back to their porn addiction, and B, you're setting people up to have wildly unsuccessful relationships, because the more people you have sex with, no matter if you're a man or a woman, the less special the sex is with the person that you're with is going to be. And to me, I find that to be just kind of gross. Even though porn is very appealing and it's something that it still calls to me, it's just I'm like an alcoholic. I say to myself, I can never watch porn again, because if I let myself watch porn, I'm going to go out down this binge that I've been wanting to go down for years. And, the same way with an alcoholic. Man, if I get a sip of that whiskey, I'm going to be down in the entire bottle that night and causing a ruckus. And, I'm the same way with porn. And, I wanted to just make this video to make a stand almost on why I feel casual sex is really a gateway to pornography. Pornography is a gateway to casual sex, which is then the gateway to pornography, which is then the gateway to just feeling empty and alone, which is the gateway to attracting lower quality individuals, having lower probability of reaching a high quality woman. These are not things to be joking about. This is very serious stuff. If you're having sex regularly with people you don't really care about, you're training your mind to oh, I'm finally with the person I'm with, and yeah, things aren't going that well, and yeah, the sex isn't really, oh, let me just find someone else because it's totally fine. And, you're training your brain to not hold with high respect sex, and sex should be something that is held at ultimate high regard, because I think that that's the thing that truly binds people together and creates the best families. And so, yeah, I just want to make this video because I'm so tired of seeing people online saying that casual sex is fine. And, what prompted me to do this is because I was just having a meeting with a guy that was saying, yeah, don't you, man, I would love to have a threesome. Wouldn't you, Harley? And I was like, honestly, yes. Part of me would really love to have a threesome. I sometimes think about, man, I'm living alone at the moment. Man, what if 2 women just happened to knock on my door and they were kind of flirting with me? And it's because I've built this system of accountability and now I'm known as this guy who does not engage in promiscuity and pornography, I would have to slam the door in their face and lock it. But I would maybe still, after closing the door, be like, oh, what did I miss out on? What did you miss? You'll never get an opportunity like that again. Oh. And then, I'm going to be thinking about porn because, oh, well, if you can't experience it, you might as well, go watch some porn so you can at least see what it's like, because you're missing out. But It's the same path we all know. If you walk down that path, you're going to run into the wall that says, you've been here before, and this is just emptiness, loneliness, darkness, depression, suicidal thoughts, not feeling worth it, lack of self-respect, wishing you could go back in time to redo what you just did. You know the path. You know where that path leads. I know where that path leads. And that's why I'm very serious about getting people off of pornography and desexualizing their brain so that they aren't just... Because you could destroy your marriage and life in one decision. And I think pornography trains men to be able to do that by, oh, yeah, I could get an escort service. Oh, I'm on a porn website and all of a sudden, oh, I see that there's like a singles nearby and my wife hasn't had sex with me in the past 2 weeks and, man, I don't feel connected to her at all. And, yeah, she is hot on this screen. Dang, I'm going to do it. Like, you could destroy your life in a few decisions like that. And when you're engaging in pornography watching and thinking that casual sex is normal, and even just a part of you that thinks it's normal and okay, I think you could really destroy your life in a matter of a few days or weeks or even just one day. And, that's why I'm vehemently against pornography, casual sex, and I urge people to, with so much passion in their hearts, learn to hate pornography, learn to hate casual sex, not in a shaming way, but in a self-respecting way, so that you can become a man that you really respect and attract a wife that you've always wanted. And that's kind of my entire mission here. I think that the most beautiful thing in life is found in an intimate, romantic relationship. Granted, I haven't had kids yet. Maybe that's another incredible, beautiful thing. And, yeah. Well, I really appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. I know this was a deep one, but be prepared. There'll be many more deep ones to come. If you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to subscribe. And if you're interested in talking to me about quitting pornography or getting rid of casual sex fantasies, book a call. There's a call right below. I have these strategy sessions with people to set a game plan on how they can quit pornography for good today. So, well, thank you and have a great one.